I think America being a car dependent system is the worst decision America ever made in its entire history. The fact that we rely on cars to get just about anywhere, everything being sprawly and spread out, it's really not good for the economy because now inflation today is on the rise and no one can afford to own, maintain, insure, register, and repair a vehicle on minimum wage. Shit, let alone 18 an hour if you're living rent free. It's not an affordable source of transportation. Yet it's funny how we're called the land of the free, but you have to have registration, papers, a car driven on the road with a taillight being out will be all it takes for you to get pulled over and busted by police who will harass the shit out of you for any reason whatsoever and look for a reason to get you. And the fact that you have to rely on these far distances and these machineries is really bad for the environment with all the smog, the air pollution, the smell of oil and gasoline everywhere when you're driving them, especially the 90s cars. You see how like everything is so far away and nothing's in walkable distance. And the fact that you have to pay for all these repairs and necessities, and you have to have insurance for a car, like I talked about on my other channel where I talk about how car insurance is a scam. A lot of people disliked it and mocked me, but they didn't listen to anything that I talk about, which is typical TikTok brain, where I tell them like the higher they raise your rates for whatever reason, such as age, location of where you live, an accident, whether it's your fault or not, or just any reason really, the more of your money they take. Like it's theft. I mean, you're not paying for any more premium or higher rates. You're paying the same rates as you always have. And so now you have less money. And they focus on the poor and poverty for those reasons. The fact that everything is so spread apart, you need a car to get anywhere in most areas of the country. But they tell you driving is a privilege. But you need a car to get anywhere. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what happened to the days we had denser and walkable cities with public transportation? Like, it just took one generation of greedy oil companies to destroy all that. I remember a guy named Stanley Meyer made a car built entirely out of water, which would have been the most innovative invention in its history. It went from California to New York with only 28 gallons of water. This would have been like the best invention for the environment and mankind. But greedy oil companies was all it took to destroy that invention. If airplanes had used it, ships had used it, it would have been innovated for airplanes and ships to do better trading, and we wouldn't have inflation ridiculously high like it is today. We'd have a cleaner environment. We wouldn't have to worry about buying so much in gas and oil. Like, this would have been the best invention in the entire world. But greedy oil companies just had to kill this guy. And now we are stuck with oil and smog polluting our air. Now they're trying to come up with electric vehicles, but I thought the water car was better. We could have built bridges that connected all around the 7 continents, let alone maybe Antarctica, and used the water from the ocean as fuel. And that would have been better for traveling and trading goods. But the fact that we have to depend on these basically screaming metal death traps is a big part of what's making America corrupt. The reason we have a terrible homeless situation is because we built the suburbs, and it was the worst design America ever created. The best way to explain it, maze-like structures, low density, and really spread out. A family, it's like a pyramid scheme. A family, a kid, 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 kid, a family, a kid, da 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 da. You know, like that. And you can keep this going until the population is just too big. And that's where we are now. We built houses and more spread out. But now the population is too big and we don't have enough space for everybody because now we want to go back to the cities. We have about 3 times, if not more, of the population back then that we do now. And we don't have enough space for everybody because now we built suburban areas in very spread out areas. Greedy people, greedy inventions, and bad choices.